Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I am Starco Gaming and we are back with another Dragon Champion video, guys. Today we're going to talk about the new Battleground shop, and more specifically we're going to talk about the 6 characters you can actually recruit through this shop by ranking them from the best one to the worst one. Well, the order you should actually be recruiting them, from the number 1 to the number 6, and we're going to talk a little bit about why they are in that order too. Before we get into that, guys, if you are new to the game or if you are level 15 or below, make sure to use the promo code the STARCO to get $10 worth of freebies. To do so, it's very simple, guys. All you gotta do is go in settings, press use promo code, enter the word STARCO here, press OK, and you will get $10 worth of freebies, which should help you quite a lot in progressing into the game. So first, we're gonna show the list of the 6 characters you can actually find in that Battleground shop. With those characters, we have Count Delmon, Dr. Frank, Patriarch Kui, Ravel, Selena, and Zira. Here you can see a pattern. Well, a semi-pattern is that characters like Zira and Count Delmon are actually season pass characters, which they are 600 tokens instead of 400 for the other characters. So when season pass characters make it through the Battleground shop, the pattern will be that they are 600 tokens for 5 hero stone, and the other characters that will make it to the shop will be 400 tokens, from what I can see from the pattern they use so far. But again, that just came out, this Battleground and the Battleground shop, so they will probably change things in there, but this is what we have for information for now. By the way, guys, this the Battleground shop picture here you see comes from the BA Dragon Champion website, made by other content creator for this game, which you can actually find the link in the description down below. So now we know the 6 characters that are available there, but in the what order should we actually recruit them, which is the most important character and which is the least important character. So let's take this image down. We're gonna go in game here, we're gonna go in the heroes. You see I set those 6 characters in my favorite here so we can actually talk about them. So in position number 1, guys, I think that every single soul in this game will agree that Zira is the most important character in that list. If you do not add Zira to 7 stars, all your Battleground points, tokens, whatever you want to call them, should be going towards her for one specific, well, 2 specific reason. She is the best leadership in the game, in the whole game. She is the best leadership. She has the most broken leadership in the game. This is crazy. You can see here the potency and maximum health of all allied orcs increased by 20%. So just for the orcs, she actually she's the best leadership with orcs. Obviously, with that, she'll give you a huge boost for your orcs to recruit soldiers, and then when the battle starts, all enemies receive a tenacity decrease, armor decrease, damage decrease, and buff immunity for 1 turn, which puts so much crowd control on the other team at the start of the fight. It is a game changer. There is no leadership in Dragon Champion that is as good as this character. So definitely, just because of that, she deserves this position number 1. But not just that, she also had an amazing kit. She is, in my opinion, the strongest orc out there. Well, I forget Mordoom is actually an orc, so if we forget Mordoom, she is the strongest regular orc, because Mordoom is a legendary 7-star or unlock. So she is the strongest regular orc in the game, in my opinion. Her damage is crazy. Her passive here increased lifesteal by 25%. If Zira dodge and attack, she recovered 20% of turn meter. If Renta is in the battlefield, she received the same buff. This third skill will apply 3 times, and if attack hit a shield, apply armor decrease for 2 turns, and if all 3 attacks hit the target, apply bleed for 2 turns and ability block. This skill is ridiculous, and you have characters like Freezer that will survive the initial kill. Well, with that, if you hit the 2 first hits, for example, with that skill, it kills him the first time, then the 3rd hit finish him. So it can actually bypass the not real death. I forgot the words they actually call it. But yes, you can actually bypass that, which gives you a huge advantage. Then with the second skills, you have healing block. You have 60% to apply healing block, and if the target is bleeding, apply buff immunity to 2 turns. That is ridiculously strong. And the first skill will actually apply damage increase for 2 turns. Well, 70% chance to apply damage increase for 2 turns to Zira. It's just the whole kit. It's probably one of the strongest kit in the game. So without a single doubt, that this is the most important character to get from this list. Now, in second position, there are actually a few options we could actually put there. Personally, I'm gonna go with Dr. Frank. Dr. Frank is highly, I don't know if it's underrated, to be honest. We don't hear about him often, but I don't know if you guys faced him in some arena team, but in the full goblin team. But he is ridiculously strong. He is very strong. So we'll take a quick look at his kits here. First, you start with this passive. If a goblin ally attack an enemy with shock, another random goblin will be called to assist. If the attacker is Dr. Frank, 2 random goblin will be called to assist. This effect can only work once per turn, so this is actually pretty crazy. Just that. You have the 3rd skill here. If we put it up here, restore 350% of Dr. Frank's magic damage to shield of all allies, and restore health to all allies equivalent to 50% of restore shields. So this is crazy. One of the rare characters that actually restore your shields, in addition of giving you a very strong heal. So basically, you have not only to when you damage your characters, not only have to get his health back down, but you have to get his shield back down again. This is really OP. If we go with the second skills, deal 300% magic damage to all enemies and inflict shock for 2 turns. So when you inflict that shock with that skill, you're gonna have 2 with the passive, that's level 6 for example. You're gonna have 2 enemies, 2 other goblin in your team that will be attacking the targets too. So it's very strong. And same thing with the first skill. The first skill will deal 220% magic damage to an enemy, inflict a shock for 2 turns. If a target is afflicted by shock, they are affected by daze for 2 turns. So as you can see, this kit is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Not as good as Zira kit, but very amazing kit. So without a single doubt, he makes it in the second position. In the third position, I'll actually go with Delmon. Actually, when I tested this guy, I was highly impressed with the elves team. He is amazing. He is literally amazing. If we look at his passive here, his passive is not that much though, unless you are playing Talon and Wonder Lula with him. This is actually a basic passive, but let's take a look at it. Count Delmon gain 500 penetration. If Talon is an ally, Count Delmon and Talon increase their physical damage by 15%. If Wonder Lula is a ally, Count Delmon and Wonder Lula increase critical chance by 15%. So a huge buff if you run with those exclusive characters, because Talon and Wonder Lula are not free-to-play friendly characters, can say that, but it can be very powerful with that passive. Definitely. You have the third skill, Count Delmon, gain dodge increase for 2 turns and recover 25% of his turn meter, and all allies gain critical damage for 2 turns. He buffed the health, well, all allies so much with that, it is ridiculous. Then you have the second skills, deal 380% physical damage to an enemy, inflicts mark of death for 3 turns. Mark of death allow attacking an enemy as if they are affected by taunt. The target cannot employ invincibility, and damage inflicted to the target is increased by 15%. So this is definitely a very very strong. Again, you know, counting those invisibility and you know, pretty much applying taunt to another characters, which is ridiculously strong. And then you have his first skills, deal 270% physical damage to enemy, a 70% chance to increase the cooldown of a random ability for 1 turn. So this skill is actually the weakest skill and still a very very good skill. And if you watch my video on I think it was unlocking the last legendary event, we actually had him in this video and we're talking about him, and his damage was ridiculous, guys. It was ridiculous. So definitely this guy is a monster. Then in position number 4 you have Selena. Now Selena, it's yes and no, because if you already have Solius 7 stars or planning to get Solius 7 stars, Solius replace her everywhere, so she becomes a priority number 6 on that list. But if you do not have Solius, or you want to use Solius in a different Battleground team, for example, and you need a healer to go with your human team, she is definitely a very very solid choice. You can see her passive here. Copy 2 random buff from an enemy at the end of a turn and applies them to random allies for the same duration, which include taunt and all that. A third skill, a very strong healing all allies by 400% Selena magic damage. If allies are afflicted by debuff, applies 2 random opposite buff for the same duration, which is pretty strong. The second skill heals the targeted ally by 280% of Selena magic damage and an extra 20% of her maximum HP. And then you have the first skill, which is deal 200% magic damage to enemy and a 70% chance to inflict a tenacity decrease for 2 turns. So obviously she has nowhere near the other 3 characters we see so far, but she is definitely an amazing replacement for Solius if you don't have Solius 7 stars and you are working for example on unlocking Mordoom. She is a very very good choice. So if you're trying to build a full human team without Solius, for example, you plan to use Solius in your meta team and then build a human team for Battleground, for example. She is definitely a very 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 strong character. Then in position number 5 we are definitely gonna go with Ravel. Ravel has an amazing kit. He has you can actually go with the bleed team in raids and actually do amazing work, and because of that he gets that position number 5 over Patriarch Squee. But they are all good characters, by the way, guys. And if we take a look at him, as you can see, all allies from Pride gain 30% of their maximum health and a 50% chance to restore 1 turn to a random ability at the start of their turn, which is actually a very very strong leadership for the Pride. If we look at his skills, Revolved deal 20% more damage for each stacks of bleeding on an enemy. So for example, you run a full bleed team with him and you have all those bleeding going, well, he's gonna get so much more extra damage, which is pretty amazing. Third skill, we have deal 400% physical damage to an enemy. If the target is bleeding, recover 75% of turn meter. This is again ridiculous. Then if we go with The second ability deal 240% of physical damage to all enemies, and the first skills deal 240% physical damage to an enemy and inflict bleeding for 2 turns. So like if you can have bleeding to all the target and then 1 bleeding on each target, that means instead of doing 240%, you're gonna do 20% more damage from that AoE, for example. That is just ridiculously strong. I found him a little bit squishy, but damage wise, this guy is definitely amazing. And last, we do have Patriarchy, which we did cover in a video not too long ago, so we're not gonna go too slow on him. Basically, this guy is the second best shield character in the game after Dr. Frank. As a healer, if you plan to actually go in, well, he's the best leadership for a full healer team for the challenge, the healer challenge. So definitely a very strong character. Also, he's gonna be your healer when you try to unlock Renara 7 stars in the Panda team. He is amazing for Battleground, Tower. Definitely those 2 game mode, he can actually be a very crucial asset. So it's definitely worth building up. If we look at his skills real fast, you can see here, so his leadership, all ally healing ability, apply shield equal to 45% of the health healed, and all attack by allies from the order restore their shield by 20% of their damage dealt, which is an amazing leadership for both healer and order. It's passive when applying a shield. Patriarchy has 40% chance to heal an ally by 30% of the shield. This one apply an armor increase to all allies for 2 turns, which is pretty amazing. A very strong shield here, giving an ally a shield equal to 700% of Patriarchy magic damage, and remove 2 buffs from an ally, which is totally OP. And this skill is boring though, but still deal 220% magic damage to an enemy, a 50% chance for King Lead in a random ally to gain a shield equal to 50% of the damage dealt. So he has a very solid kit. Sadly, we got so many healers that got released lately. We're just talking about Dr. Frank, Selena, Renara. Since Renara got released, you have so many healers that are actually stronger than him that he dropped a little bit, but he's still an amazing asset in this game. Definitely worth building a Panda team around him, definitely. So those are the 6 characters, guys. So if we go with the ranking again, number 1 we had Zira, number 2 we had Dr. Frank, number 3 we have Count Delmon, number 4 Selena, number 5 Ravel, and number 6 Battleground. This is the order. I recommend you guys to get those characters that you can actually get from the Battleground shop, and definitely the Zira is the most important thing to get with your Battleground tokens as early as possible. Basically, what you want to do with those tokens is focus on Zira. Once you have your Zira to 7 stars, then you want to start focusing on your meta artifacts. Then once you have your meta artifact for your metas, you want to go back to start getting those characters from position number 2 to number 6, because Zira is more important than artifacts, but artifact is more important than the 5 other characters, pretty much. Anyway, that pretty much what covers this video. If you guys have any question, comment, feedback, let me know in the comment section below, down below. As always, guys, if you want to play Dragon Champion on PC, make sure to check the description again. There's a link there to install Dragon Champion on PC, which is always awesome. So thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I get to see you all again in the next video. Thank you.